RDTDaily.com presents a Tarabuster with comedian Tara Devlin.
What's up? Yeah, I'll change that one day. I'll get that done. I mean, as far as the VO is concerned, with RDT Daily, yeah, it does break my heart every time I hear it. My name is Tara Devlin. Thank you so much. Already we have the chat room filling up with amazing, great patriot people who make me want to get out of bed in the morning. Otherwise, I don't know what I'd do without you, really. So thank you so much. I see Richard W. in the chat room at youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. If you're on any other channel, come on over there, because that's the chat room I'm probably going to be reading from and hanging out and, chatting with. It's hard to keep track of different chat rooms. So we're sticking to the YouTube one, youtube.com/C for channel/Tarabuster. So, all right. Thank you, Richard W., for your super chat. And thank you, Jim, for your super chat. Wait a minute. Hold on. Richard W. writes, another great show, Tara. Which is ironic, since... Is it ironic? Or it's premature? I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm glad you have that kind of confidence in me. And then Jim, with his super chat, Jim responds, another great super chat, Richard. I love it. I love that there's, that we have our little a Tarabuster culture going on. All right. And thank you all, guys. What am I going to say? Let's see. Hold on. Just pressing buttons that I forgot to press. That's what happens. That's why your patronage is important. Patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Please become a patron if you can. At patreon.com/Tara Devlin. And I realized that full screen that's at the beginning and end of Tarabuster, it has the Tarabuster logo and says, please become a patron now. It doesn't even have a location to be a patron. Okay, become a patron. Where? How? You have to really make it easy on people. Anyway, I'll put the URL in there. There's so many things I have to do. Okay, whatever. Let's get to work. Well, this is the weekday. Saturday, we have a regular scheduled show on Saturdays. And so that's why during the weeks, it's a little bit more loosey-goosey. Even though, whatever. I still have the music playing, but I don't have to cut the show for Progressive Voices. So on Saturday, the show is recorded for Progressive Voices, blah, blah, blah. So we're on Progressive Voices. We're on FYI Nation. That's another great independent liberal network that we need to support. And it was the other day, I was listening to Stephanie Miller. Not that she listens to this show. And it really, I don't know, should I share this openly? I've debated. Whatever. You guys know. One of the things that really gets to me is the lack of support among the certain liberal media, especially, well, the more I won't say successful, the ones with larger platforms, the ones like Stephanie Miller in a way. But I did hear her express concern that liberal media pundits and the liberal media in general do not support each other, which I found pretty funny because, I don't know, I told you guys that I asked to be put on a certain network, but we were turned down because we didn't have enough downloads at the time. And I said, well, gee, maybe we'd have more downloads if some of the more the larger platform people gave us a little bit of a helping hand. But okay, I got that off my chest. It's a little annoying. The point is, hey, I guess we all have blind spots when it comes to ourselves. We all try to be good people, don't we? I do. So maybe I have blind spots, but usually if somebody says to me, "Can you help?" I do. So or if I can, let's put it that way. Okay. So anyway, it gets on my nerves that other liberal shows don't, or the liberal media in general doesn't help each other, because the reason I'm doing this, I'm not doing it because I mean, I could do a show. I'd love to do a show. You guys know I'm a comedian. So I'd love to be sitting here talking about cats or something else, books, movies, TV shows, things that that don't give me stress to the point where I want to flee the country, you know? And one of the things that you guys know, bothers me is that we don't help each other. And when I reach out to other liberal media pundits, not every single one, others, Tom Hartman, for example, he is not in. He is somebody that helps. Mike Malloy, obviously, Robyn Kincaid. Those are the exceptions, frankly, and it's probably why we're in this boat. We have a corporate media, and then you have an independent liberal media that is. I mean, I'm here. I'm fighting for, at least this is what I could not do this show, and I'd get a lot more sleep. Do you know what I mean? Really, because I basically work pretty much 80 hours a week, I think. I don't know. My excuse is I'll sleep when I'm dead. That's what I tell myself. But I do need sleep sometimes while I'm still alive. Anyway, so while I was heartened listening to Stephanie Miller talk about how we have to help each other, I was also kind of annoyed, thinking, knowing that the help isn't there. I'm here. I asked. Hey, I'm on Progressive Voices. You're on Progressive Voices. I'm not asking to be on your show. I was asking to be, I don't know, included on your network lineup. Or even just a tweet. Hey, listen to Tara. Something. Since we're all on the same team. Anyway, whatever. I'll stop talking about that now until somebody else brings it up, and and it triggers me again. All right. I hope whatever. Am I making friends? See, I'm double and triple guessing myself lately. I don't know why. I'm going through an existential crisis, a midlife crisis, and menopause. Is that all the same? It's probably the same thing at the same time. And I'm wondering, and I'm reassessing life, and I'm wondering if it's worth it. Really, life is worth it, but I'm wondering if the fight. Because look at what we're up against. Of course, it's worth it. I've already talked myself down off the ledge. You see how that goes? Because that's why we're a team. We don't go into these, my mind. I don't go there alone. I take you with me. I need backup. You better bring a flashlight and a gun and all your friends. Because, I start thinking that we're doomed and I got to get the F out of here. I'm not alone. I don't think I've lived through a time where the majority of people I talk to and I say, I got to get the F out of here. And they respond with, yeah, me too. I know. Or I get it. I'm concerned too. I understand. I never lived through a time like this where, and it reminds me of when as somebody who reads history and knows a little bit about the Holocaust and the rise of Nazism in Germany, I start thinking, about the people in Germany when fascism took root and really started to grow. The people, if you listen to the survivors and how Jewish people who survived the Holocaust or lived through that time, and they say that the reason they didn't move or didn't leave was because they thought it was only temporary. It can't last. The people have to come to their senses. And we're Germans. You know, I'm a veteran of World War I. Many of the Germans, the victims of the Nazis, were veterans. And today is Veterans Day. Hold on a second. There's another story. Guys, this is Tara Devlin. You know that? Yes, I have my passport. I have my passport too. And when I renewed my passport, that was in the back of my mind. You can't let your passport expire. You need it. If you don't have a passport, get one. And that's really the advice of people like Malcolm Nance too. You have to have an escape plan. But that's when I think about what's going on in this country, and I start thinking to myself, when is the time? You know, when is that time when you realize, okay, it's done. We got to get the F out of here. Because I do wonder. Yesterday I was looking online where to retire in the world, what other places to retire to get the F out of here. Of course, I went straight to Ireland, how to retire in Ireland, how to get the F. I mean, I don't want to leave, but who the hell does? But what the F? I don't know. All right. What are we going to do? When do we cross that line? And am I in denial, personally, myself? Because I think about the people who lived through Nazi Germany, and they said that they all thought it would blow over. And that's why I'm concerned. I've been saying it, that of course, all of the traitors, the capital insurrectionists, the domestic terrorists, they're getting basically slaps on the wrist. We're told to hold on because, I don't know, the more serious charges might be coming. They're all serious charges. Any slap on the wrist, all of them should have at least had the goddamn book thrown at them. All of them. They participated in a coup, an attempted coup. Where they were chanting "Hang Mike Pence," but there's no boundaries anymore. There's no low too low for these domestic terrorists, these domestic enemies. These are the domestic enemies. I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Anybody who took an oath to this country, that's the oath we took. We took the oath to the Constitution. And, it's Veterans Day. I don't really consider myself a veteran. I wore the uniform of the country. I never really, what did I do? I don't know. I didn't go anywhere. So I'm not really a veteran of a war. I was a veteran of a lot of fake wars. That's for sure. Which gave me PTSD enough, I'll tell you that. Anyway. And, all right. Yes, get your bug out bag ready, says JD. It is very depressing. And fascism, okay? That's what's depressing. Just add fascism or add right-wingers to any situation. How do you have a great country? I mean, I'm noticing that my audio is very hot. Hello, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Just add a right-winger to any decent democracy and you're doomed. You don't add right-wingers to anything. In fact, let's start with this. So there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. This is what I have on the list. We'll see how it goes. The first of all, let me see. What do I have? I want to talk about Kyle Rittenhouse. We could talk about that. Who else is sick of white boys blubbering? And also, I want to talk about Republicans reaching for the old standard of book burning. And what else? Oh, and them unleashing their army of morons on this poor, sad, dying, I won't even say democracy. Hold on. I'm just adjusting some of these levels. Okay, good. Breathe. All right, where shall we start? Well, Kyle Rittenhouse. What a fake ass display of white privilege. That's what that was. Anybody, I just want you to raise your hand if you've ever uncontrollably sobbed without any tears coming out of your eyes, or snot in your nose. Well, I saw a lot of antics. What I saw was somebody behaving like what he thought a human being might. What kind of emotion? There's somebody who's mimicking emotions. That's what that looked like to me. I don't know. I've been unfortunate enough to be to the point where you want to sob, where you're sobbing like that, where you're ugly crying. And, you know, it's usually you're reaching for a tissue or two. And that is just completely, it is emblematic of Republicans. This is what they know. It's a game. It's a scam. And the other thing I thought about was this is a party of sociopaths, too. What is it with the Republicans? And they're so fooled by sociopathy. An outward display of what it means to be, or what they think an emotion looks like. But it's only, you're only allowed to have these emotions, frankly, if you're a white man. Anybody but a white man would never be able to get away with those antics, those tears, crocodile tears. Give me a break here. Let's watch to refresh our memories. Plus, it's Schadenfreude. And the other thing I have to tell you, I was trying to find this article. I couldn't find it though, and maybe it was. I think it was on Breitbart though. It was because Republicans are complaining that liberals, heartless liberals, are saying that Kyle Rittenhouse was crocodile tearing. He wasn't real tearing. It's heartlessness. Those heartless liberals, yeah, so heartless. It's for us to be concerned about, I don't know, everything. We just don't have the same empathy for somebody who travels across state lines, a young person whose mother should be on trial too, by the way. She's the one who drove this little sociopath, this little sick kid. A kid, when you're 17 years old, your brain is not developed. So nobody in their right mind, that's why you don't hire a child to go and patrol the streets in front of your store. This is what Kyle Rittenhouse says he was invited to protect the property of the store that he was in front of, and which is a lie. No one invited him there. The store who Kyle says he was invited by says he's a lying little white privileged prick. And I'm sick of it. Let's watch him. Wait. Where is it? Come on. Ecamm. Please cooperate, Ecamm. Wait, we're not going anywhere. Hold on, here we go.
My plan is to get out of that situation and go back north down Sheridan Road to where the car source lot number 2 was.
Oh, the car. See, that was it. The car store. Lot number 2. He's the self-appointed vigilante. These people are sick. No one wants people like this roaming the streets. No one says, hey, a 17-year-old prick, go patrol my store with this AK-47. Get the fuck out of here. What kind of society are these assholes inflicting on us despite receiving fewer votes and being in the minority? You want to know? This is a minority death cult right here. Receiving fewer votes, and they're just elevating a sociopathic teenager with bad parenting, elevating him to hero. He's a hero, right? But a kid like Trayvon Martin, who is not armed, who's just walking to the store to buy a bag of Skittles, that's somebody who they think is fine to murder. But this piece of waste of human DNA, blubbering. I mean, he learned from what's his name? He learned from frat boy Cav. That's for sure. That white people cry, and everybody, the whole of the establishment just screeches to a halt to give them anything they effing want. Jesus Christ. All right, let's watch this.
Mr. Rosenbaum
Isn't he
was
polite?
now running from
So
my
polite.
right side.
Well spoken. Oh no,
and
wait, here we go.
I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski.
What the fuck were you doing there? You were cornered. He says he was there to help. He was there for first aid. Who the fuck asked you? Friendly. He's running around the streets, yelling at the cop. Friendly here, friendly. Where the fuck do these people live? This is, you understand, this betrays what this kid is speaking, what he thinks. It's, I'm a friendly. This betrays everything that he's been hearing on right-wing fascist propaganda media. That he lives in a country where Democrats, liberals, progressives, those are the enemies who need to be murdered, basically. And if you kill them, that's fine. The thing that's really pissing me off, and one of the reasons I want to get the fuck out of here, is that because this kid's gonna get away with this. He's gonna get away with murdering 2 people, and what, he blew the bicep off another one. Someone needs to no. Legally and peacefully. He's going to get off, and stay tuned for him to be featured somehow at the next CPAC. You better fucking believe it. And this is where we live. No one wants the society that these pricks are inflicting on us. These violent, fascist, anti-American, un-American thugs. Absolute. Well, I mean, if they were just thugs, it would be bad enough. They're thugs. They're morons. They're liars. They're sick, twisted. They are very sick. And you don't put sick people in charge of a government that you think that you want to make great. You only put them there if you're trying to destroy that government. We know that that's what the Republicans are up to. the Republicans in leadership are up to that. And then they have, the people like Kyle Rittenhouse, who is really he's a useless idiot. He's useless to us. Well, he's useful to them. Kyle Rittenhouse and his mama, she was crying. She's crying like a blubbering fool too. But also, same thing. Sort of was able to turn it on and off. Anyway. All right, let's finish. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
There were.
Get the fuck out of here.
There were 3 people right there.
Take a deep breath, pal.
Take a deep breath, pal. Oh, well, that's his defense attorney. Okay, and please, who's buying this shit? Did anyone buy this?
That's what
Oh my God. And the mother. Anybody see any tears coming out of his face? What about his mouth or his nose? You know what happens when you cry, and I don't know. I've cried a few. I've been known to cry. I think you've seen it here. Right here on Tarabuster, I've cried. If you're crying to the point where you are blubbering and flailing your arms, no tears? No tears. I mean, that's a condition. Nobody said he has that condition. There is a condition where you don't, and it's actually very deadly. You don't make sweat, you don't make tears. You need to get your ass to the hospital immediately. You're in big, just like the country's in big trouble, you're in big trouble. But this kid, does he have this condition where you don't make any tears?
That's right, run.
I don't see a fucking tear.
We're going to just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're going to take a break about 10 minutes, and please don't talk about the case during the break. Read, watch, or listen to any account of it.
It's like the whole world has to stop. Everybody take a break because a white boy's crying. Everybody. That's us. The whole world. Everybody stop. Oh, white boys are whining. Oh, I'm sorry. We won't be able to have that constitutionally limited functioning, right? Multiracial democratic republic. I'm sorry. White boys are crying about it. So many white boys crying. And by the way, the mother... Oh, I mean, we know the fix is in. The whole thing is a sham, and it's just another day. I have to ask, how do people how are Americans who happen to have darker pigment, how do they deal with this without losing their mind, without going nuts, without turning into violent mobs? How do they, you notice that people with darker pigment, they're working within the system to make the system work for all. They're not storming the Capitol. They're not having a fucking tantrum. They're not going across state lines and killing people. Could you imagine? Killing people. You don't see them taking guns to a Trump-anzi rally and shooting people. Oh, I was threatened. I'm a fear for my life. Well, maybe you should have stayed home, Kyle. You're 17. And your mother should be in jail, frankly. She should be in jail. You take your 17-year-old son to a place where you say is a riot, where people are armed and there's going to be blood and fire and explosions, and you're there to do first aid? Who the fuck are you? Kyle, you're 17-year-old sociopath with a bad mother who listens to Trump. So you're a two-time loser right there. But don't worry, you have the entire establishment on your side. Yesterday, Matt Gaetz, the child's predator, the sexual predator himself, another altruistic servant of the people, man of the people, that guy. That's the guy who, he's a man of the people. We go around saying, don't you know who my daddy is? That's my people. That's why Matt Gaetz was famous, or infamous, more appropriate, for hanging out in the bars in Miami and going around saying, don't you know who my daddy is? That's who they are. And what are you crying about, bitch? You killed 2 people. This is a sick fuck, and they're gonna let him out, like Zimmerman, like George Zimmerman, like all of these pricks who make this country a cesspool of violent thugs. That's what I find. It's heartbreaking. Republicans, we know, they don't need a wall. They need a mirror to look themselves in the face and look at what the fuck they are. And it's not patriots. Well, you could be a patriot of an authoritarian country. Go for it. But that's not this goddamn country. Go to Hungary. Go to Russia. That's not this country. That's not the promises that we were made. That's not why the founders rebelled. That's not the government they entrusted to us and all their flaws. But it's heartbreaking to me when I see African Americans, people with darker pigment, in other words, say, just working through the system. Have all the hopes of the system, putting it, from the inception of this country, the oppressed, the people that the government, the white privileged pricks were oppressing, have always worked within the system to try to make that system authentic and function for all, to try to make that system function as it was supposed to function, as it was designed, at least on paper. Not definitely not in the hearts of those who put it together, but still, I find that, even as I'm saying this, that it breaks my heart, but it also gives me hope, and it also reminds me that we will win. We will, because the demographics are against these fascist bastards. And ain't that great? God damn it. The thing that makes me sad is that I just hope I'll be alive to see it, damn it. I hope it doesn't take that long. Oh my God. Let's take a break. Everyone's crying. Oh, she's crying. I don't see any tears. It's very weird. You know what it is? How these Republicans, do they really think that we're all dumb? Well, I guess so. It's fascinating to me how many sociopaths influence the Republican Party. Their heroes are sociopaths. Their standard bearer is a sociopath. They're all a bunch of sociopaths. And that's why they can't function in a democracy. because there is no part of pledging your life, fortune, and sacred honor to each other that is sociopathy. There's nothing. Those two things are diametrically opposed. So, which is why Republicans can't help it. I've said for years, and every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism, and they can't help it. They can't help but be fascists. Wait, hold on. I see that I'm going blurry again. I don't know why that happens. Webcam. Okay, let's put the webcam settings on, and now show my web setting panel. Okay, boom, there we go. I don't know, like it or not, it's back in focus. But the Republicans, they can't help but be fascist, so they behave in fascist ways because they cannot help it. For example, did you think that you wouldn't see them trying to burn books again? I mean, what else is new? What the F else is new? Really, throughout my life, periodically, they've tried to ban books. Hold on, where is it? Where is it? Using book bans. I mean, there's so many articles. Let me see. Oh, here we go. Here's one. The one I was looking for. The Forgotten History of Republican Book Banning. Well, they're bringing it back up. Come on, open up. Here we go. So, a conservative stock character is making a comeback. The book banner. And this is from The Week, and it's written by Ryan Cooper. And it was written in October, or it was published, I should say, in October. For the past few years, Republicans have pretended they're defending free speech and free inquiry in schools against censorious liberals with their safe spaces and trigger warnings, right? I mean, isn't this nails it. Everything about the Republic, everything that they complain about and they whine about and they constantly rail against is really, they're talking about themselves. Psychological projection. Book banning. Liberals aren't trying to ban, but we're not trying to censor you, honey. You see, this is what the Republicans are confused. They think cancel culture. They're all crying about cancel culture. When I say it's not cancel culture, you just suck. Right? So, and now there's a backlash against cancel culture where people are like, oh, they're getting canceled, and the pundits are complaining about people getting canceled, but then they neglect to detail, well, what are they getting canceled for, or whatever, how being canceled meaning, for example, losing your job, or somebody losing a lucrative pundit gig somewhere because, I don't know, an email came out where they were saying the N-word. This is not something new, of course, but it's not cancel culture. You just suck. No one's trying to cancel. You have the right to say whatever the F you want, but we have the right to have a response to it. And so do everyone else. So does everyone else. So does your employer. If you can't go on social media without saying the N-word or something equally disgusting, then it's the problem is you. So you could say all those things all day, all night. Just say them at your Trumpanzee rally. You don't get to say them on Twitter or where, I don't know, or somebody's some other private platform. So it's not about, I don't know, what are you trying to cancel? Conversely, it is Republicans, it's conservatives who have always tried to limit freedom in every sense of the word. Prove me wrong. The only Yeah, I mean, we're talking about freedom of speech, freedom of freedom, period. Freedom to be human. Freedom to be sick, freedom to go to a doctor, freedom to take a day off. Forget about it. But Republicans have pretended they're defending free speech and free inquiry in schools against censorious liberals with their safe spaces and trigger warnings. In reality, conservatives have a mile-long history of trying to suppress the teachings of books they find uncomfortable because, they're very fragile. Like this guy.
My plan is to... That's right, run.
We're going to just take time for our break anyway. You can just relax for a minute, sir.
Okay, I'll relax. Relax for a minute, sir. It didn't take much for him to relax because there was nothing really happening. It was sort of this is a sociopath. That's what sociopaths do. They mimic us. Something is wrong with this kid. Clearly. No normal kid behaves like that. I'm not hey, he was dealt a bad hand. Look at his mother. But hey, she didn't help, clearly. She cultivated her little sociopath and set him loose to murder people. And then I don't know, where did he learn that when people are really upset, they flail their arms? Did that happen in a cartoon or something? They flail and they go, but no tears. No tears, no snot. Give me a break. And it's about time that we all stop taking Republicans at face value. And this is part of why we're swirling the bowl, about to teeter permanently into fascism for the next generation. It's because, the Republicans... Wait, hold on. Fuck, here we go again with the beach ball. Oh, my God. Everything froze. I don't know what to do. Hold on, I'm gonna have to force quit the Finder and hope it comes back. All right. Let's see. See if you're still there. Son of a bitch. This is why. All right. We're back. And I see. Thank you, Pookie's Mama Irene. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you, JD, for your super chat. JD says, hello, Tara and people in the chat. And thank you, Errol Thomas, for your super chat. When will Republic clowns ever gonna come to the realization that Kyle Rittenhouse is a criminal? No, they will never. They will never. Oh, and like I was saying yesterday, Matt Getz tweeted out, not guilty. The defense hadn't rested. What happened? The little prick blubbered on the stand. He cried. Not guilty, everyone, right? A white guy cried. When white people cry, we have to do something about it. Like that judge. I'm trying to find this video. Who's that judge that cried? That was famous. Oh yes, this Republican judge, but he got the job, guys. That guy is now sitting on the bench in judgment of us. Yeah, I can't find it. I have so many videos, but you know what I'm talking about. The guy who was crying, he was being interviewed by Josh Harley. Let me see. Judge Cries. And then they asked about these emails because he was a notorious asshole to his coworkers, and those who worked with him all testified on his character, and they said he sucked. Judge, what's the guy's name? I'm sorry. Judge Cries during, let's see, testimony? Oh, well, whatever. This is what happens when you don't have a producer. So that's all I say. Become a friggin' patron. I'm trying to find the judge. Whatever. You see, if I had a producer, I'd say, get me that goddamn judge. You know who I'm talking about. Who cried? Well, because we remember Kavanaugh. Then he's not alone. I mean, Republicans, they have been stuffing unqualified, white, whiny crybabies on the bench as fast as they can, as fast as fascism or hell can spit them out. Anyway, all right. Let me get back to this. Okay. In reality, conservatives have a mile-long history of trying to suppress the teaching of books they find uncomfortable. That record... Here, let's get rid of his face. I know, right? That record has resurfaced in the Virginia gubernatorial race. This was written a couple of weeks ago, so... All right. Liberals have done the same thing on occasion, typically targeting books which contain racial slurs, like The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. But the bulk of the book banning incidents, parents complaining about sexual content, violence, skepticism of Christianity, cursing, or the history of racism and slavery, are straight out of the moral majority politics of the 80s and 90s. That habit seems to vanish for a while when Republicans nominated a thrice-divorced, credibly accused rapist to be the president. Now it's coming back. In recent months, Republican legislatures have passed de facto prohibitions of teaching the history of racism across the country, which is another death knell for democracy, guys. As a result, a Tennessee teacher was fired for assigning Ta-Nehisi Coates. Can you believe that? While a Texas school board recently apologized for instructing teachers to present opposing views on the Holocaust while trying to obey a Republican law on curriculum content, meaning you have to do it both sides. Both sides. See, if one side is fascist, the other side must be not I don't know. Find the opposite side. Find the alternative view. See, if you have somebody who believes in democracy, if you have, let's say, if you bring in somebody, let's say, I don't know, if you bring Thomas Jefferson in, you got to bring Hitler in too. And let the kids decide who's better. Well, we can have a debate. We could really have that debate. Don't let the brief... Where am I? Okay. Yes. While a Texas school board recently apologized for instructing teachers to present opposing views. They only apologize after everybody's like, what the are you talking about? This is where the Republicans have taken this country. They have everybody twisted. Really, you have teachers saying, you have to teach the opposing view of the Holocaust. And then they have to say, oh, gee, that sounded ridiculous. They're only saying it because they're feeling the stress of the Republican incompetence. The Republican race. It's not incompetence. It's the assault on democracy. That's what it is. We have to... See, the thing is, we have to get to the point where just like the corporate media is talking about fascism openly now, we have to get them to the point where they're taking the Republican Party for what they are, the fascists they are, not what they want them to be or what they're trying to make them Yeah, the amazing Republican Party that that apparently the American people can't do without, according to Nancy Pelosi. Oh my God, has that stopped yet? Nancy Pelosi and all? No, it hasn't. It hasn't stopped, which goes to show me it says that the Democrats and especially corporate media they really aren't taking seriously this threat, the threat against democracy, who these Republicans are. That it's not, there's no coming out of this. They're not going to wake up from the stupor. I've been hearing this for years. Enough. We were going through this forever. I'm thinking about Clinton going back then. You know, the vast right-wing conspiracy. We've been enduring. Republicans have no interest in governing. They're attacking democracy. They've been attacking it. Give them an inch. They'll take the whole goddamn thing. But this is the point. They're trying to undermine democracy. They're trying to make it. They're trying to get us to the point where we are a functional oligarchy with a sham democracy wrapped around it, like Russia has. That's what they're. I mean, there's no. They're outright broadcasting this. Literally, they're broadcasting from Hungary, praising authoritarian governments. I really, as much as I hate them, I never thought I would see them openly embrace fascism. We're getting to the point where for years I've been saying that Republicans hate democracy, and every Republican chest beats the heart of fascism, and they're only giving lip service to democracy. I said that for years. It's true. But they would, for years they had to pay homage openly or publicly to democracy while engaging in their dirty tricks against democracy behind the scenes. And that's what we would talk about. We would point it out and say, well, they're doing this. They're rigging the vote here. They're gerrymandering there. They're kicking people off the voting rolls here. You know. And we're pointing out they're doing this because they hate democracy. They don't care of what the people want. They want power. They want power for themselves. They want money for themselves. They want influence, power, money, cushy life. They want to hobnob with the big wigs. They want to feel like a big man or whatever the fuck they think they are. And they want all that shit. They want to be able to stuff as much into those rapacious, gaping black hole of greed that they all have in place of a soul. They want to be able to just shove more shit in there. Just keep shoving it in until, maybe one day you'll be satisfied. They thought they would be satisfied kicking, I don't know, old ladies off a cliff or something, but now they need the whole kit and caboodle. They need democracy itself. None of this. They can't play the game anymore. It's taking too much time for them. They're too damaged. They don't see working against us to get them on side. I don't know, I can't talk, is the Telecommunications Act. So Bill Clinton he signed the law that put the noose around democracy's neck. And that was handing media over to corporate interests, over to the greedy ghouls, yet again. Because here in the United States of serfs and lords, nothing is worth doing unless some handful of pricks can make a buck over it. A lot of bucks. Doesn't matter if they tear this goddamn country apart. Because no longer is our lives, fortunes, and sacred honor, is that paramount? It's greed. Greed is now the only thing that matters. It's true. And although the Republican hypocrites, the filthy fascist pricks, will whine and cry and tell you otherwise, they're full of it. They're full of crap. There is nothing. This country, the Republicans don't want the American people to consider themselves part of government. They want government to be something that the American people loathe. They've done a good job there, and they needed that deregulated media to do it. That's why the Democrats, if they don't wake up, we're done. We know that. We know that the corporate Dems are a lost cause. And yeah, as much as we know, we can have this conversation. We'll have it again. But we know that the corporate media, the corporate Dems suck. And people are like, well, the Democratic Party is a lost cause. My opinion is that we have a better chance of taking over the Democratic Party. I know, maybe. Maybe I need somebody to smack me across the face legally and peacefully and say, that ain't gonna happen, bitch. But I don't know. I'm still holding on there. I see that the Progressive Caucus is the largest caucus of the Democratic Party in the House. It used to be the smallest. I see progress on that front. And I see that you see the young people of this country. They're not Republicans. That's for sure. That's why the Republicans know that the writing's on the wall. Either they take over democracy and destroy it, or the Republican Party is gone. It was never about the American people, the general welfare. No, Republicans don't give a shit. You heard fucking Paul Ryan. What did he say? I was dreaming about cutting Medicaid since college, when we were sitting around the keg, talking about, that's what you're talking about? You sick, twisted bunch of sociopaths. That's what you're talking about? Well, you're sitting around a keg. Imagine that. Well, I know. I've sat around a few kegs in my life. You're sitting around a keg and you're discussing cutting people's lifelines. That's what you're dreaming about when you're a youth. When you're a youth, you're supposed to have all the bright-eyed optimism of youth. Oh, not Paul Ryan. They have the optimism of the audacity of autocracy or something. That's what you think about? There's something wrong with you. If that's what you think about. Remember when we're sitting around the keg talking about cutting Medicaid. You sick piece of dirt. And that's Paul Ryan, somebody whose father passed away when he was a teenager, and he was able to he didn't have to go and become a destitute streetwalker. Who knows? Youth hustler. Who knows? That's what could have happened. He could have been like the little match girl. That's what the Republicans want. They wanted to bring us back to a Charles Dickens type existence. You have tragedy befall you. Oh, that's called life. But because we're such a great country, I know I'm saying this, hope springs eternal, we don't let people who happen to have bad luck fall on bad luck. We don't let them fall through the cracks. That's because this is democracy. Democracy works. Wouldn't that be great? Doesn't that feel good when you say that? It's like, what a missed opportunity. These Republicans, they don't even know. They don't realize they're hurting themselves, of course, by hurting everybody else. They think that, I don't know. Oh, boy. Wow. Wait a minute. Oh, thank you, JLZJ, for your super chat. Thank you so much. I love your shows, even if I have to watch recordings of them. Thanks for making me laugh. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here and for your kind words and for your super chat. And that's it. We can't do it without you. Oh, the other thing I have to say is Robyn Kincaid. I should have led with this. What the hell is wrong with me? Robyn. It's a girl. Yeah. Well, we knew that. She's come out of the gender confirmation surgery. Flying colors, all is well, and hopefully the surgery, the recovery will be as routine as the surgery, and she's feeling great. Was a little tired. I actually asked her if she wanted to call in tonight, and she said she was a little tired, but maybe Saturday, so we'll see. We have to take it a day at a time. So there you go. I'm looking forward to talking with Robyn and letting you guys talk with her too. Robyn Kincaid, everyone. All right. This is Tara Devlin, and this is unapologetic liberal talk on the right side of history, on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. Those are things Republicans really don't have a lot of experience with, I suppose. All right. What's going on? Ray. What's happening with these cats? It's madness here. It's madness. Where is the... Hold on, guys. Wait a minute. There's so many things to talk about. All right. Well, speaking of how much Republicans suck, well, we're kind of all over the place. That's fine. That's how it rolls. I just wanted to share. This is why we need a show, a daily show at a set time. There's too much crap going on. But I wanted to share this thing that I came across. It happened a week ago. I missed it. And I don't know. You might have seen it, so I apologize if you did. But there's this, wherever the heck is it? I don't know if you saw this. Violent anti-maskers try to get a cookie shop owner arrested. So apparently there are a bunch of assholes running around this country. Can you believe it? Who don't want to wear masks. They're anti-vaxxers. They're mask holes, clearly. And they go into stores to start trouble, to start fucking with people, and they videotape it. I guess they're trying to be heroes to the zeros, like Kyle Rittenhouse, all the worst people. It's like all the worst people. So, from Raw Story by Sky Palmer. Last week, the owner of a cookie store in Eugene, Oregon, was assaulted by an anti-mask couple who entered her store carrying a camera phone with the intention of capturing their protest on video. The situation escalated. One of the anti-maskers pushed the store owner, prompting her to retrieve a bat. The protesters then lunged at the store owner, and a fight ensued. You don't get to effing assault people and run a business, the female protester shouted. Hill, you wanna watch the video? I have it. But well, let's watch it and then. Or maybe I don't. If this is what happened, fuck my life. Why do I say things that aren't true? Yeah, let's watch it this way. I swear to God, whoever is producing the show is going to get a strongly worded letter from me. And it will be almost like reading my diary, because it'll be a letter to me. Dear me, you spent a long time getting videos today. Where the hell are they? You don't know what I go through on a daily basis, guys. All right. We can watch it through here. Hopefully there's no ad. Here we go. Come on.
Don't you offer your services to the public?
Yes, but the state requires that you need to be masked in order to come in.
Oh, hold on.
You can't deny public services per federal law.
Yes, I can.
18. You can violate 18 USC 245.
I don't know what that is, but it's a
It's
private
a
business.
federal law. You're a public accommodation. You just said you're open to the public.
I have the right to refuse service to anyone.
That's what
You
18
think
USC
you do?
245 is exactly
Please
about.
leave my store. I'm asking you to leave.
Get the fuck
You
out.
understand what trespassing means?
You're-
Yes.
Harassing
You're
somebody.
trespassing. When I ask you to leave and you don't leave, you're
What?
now trespassing.
That's not what
Yes,
trespassing
it
is.
is.
Who's assholes?
Don't touch her.
Don't touch
You
her.
can do is put your hands on me right now. The absolute worst fucking thing you can
Hey!
do is put your hands on me.
Yeah, don't fucking touch her.
Get out right now. I have the right to use reasonable force once I've asked you to
I
leave and you don't
fucking dare
leave.
you.
Get out. Right now.
I fucking dare you.
Get the fuck out.
Oh my God.
Get out! Ah! Hey, get the fuck out!
Unreal. For those,
Get the fuck out!
for those on the chat, on the podcast, not the video, the two women are fighting. Now, the owner, these two assholes went into this woman's store saying, Section 2453 up my ass. Are you aware of this statute where you have to serve me even though I'm a danger to yourself? I'm a danger to myself, yourself, and everybody else in this goddamn store. No, you don't. That's why you don't. I mean, no shirt, no shoes, no service. You don't get to walk into people's store if you're not wearing shoes. Right? Because you're filthy, disgusting, gross toes. Nobody wants to see your gross, disgusting, filthy feet. Just like we don't want to breathe your filthy COVID breath, you disgusting traitors. Filthy bastards, man. Make America great. They think they're doing good? It's fascinating to me. What the hell is wrong with them? There is something wrong with them, guys. That's why you don't give them power. You don't give right-wingers power. Everybody has right-wingers. The whole world has to endure them. But you don't give them power. And when you do, you regret it. The whole world regrets it. People are dead. That's what happens. People die, starving, craziness, racism, insanity. Of course, that's fascism. Doesn't bring anything. It's never the right answer. It's always a response to ignorance, stupidity, lies, self-aggrandizement. It's always a response. Look when I think about Germany, right? What happened in Germany? It is eerily similar in many ways, including how the first violent coup wasn't successful, and then they started working from the inside. influencing, never backing down, of course. But they tried to. They didn't take over Germany overnight. It took over a decade of failed fits and starts, but they never backed down, and they continued. The lies continued, and then, coincidentally, the economy worked in their favor with the Great Depression when the stock market crashed. But they had lost seats. In fact, they were trounced. I think there was an election in the late 20s. I'm trying to remember the exact year. No, it had to be after that. But anyway, they lost seats in the parliament. And then after the stock market crashed, the Nazis won. They didn't win a majority. They won. They didn't win. It wasn't over 50%. It was a majority in the parliament, but they didn't win. A majority of the parties, different parties, but not of a majority of the whole parliament. You know what I'm saying? So all we need is, and this is what the Republicans are doing, they're trying to make it that Joe Biden is not successful. And this is how they're going to undermine and destroy democracy. See, one of the only things that will work in our favor is if Joe Biden is successful. Republicans know this. Oh yeah, these are people that actually read Mein Kampf. They do. That's what Trump's ex-wife said. He had Mein Kampf was the only book he read. He had it on his nightstand. The piece of wasted human DNA. Right? Bunch of losers. Okay. Oops. Sorry, guys. So, back to the store where that's what happens. One right-winger can ruin an entire, you can ruin your whole morning. Ruin a nice, what is it? It's a goddamn cookie store. A cookie store. Who the hell has a problem with a cookie? Shut the fuck up and get out and you don't like it? You don't want to wear a mask. Oh, they don't want to put a piece of cloth over their face. It's too much for these patriots. It's too much. Too much patriotism. So, nice people fighting. Of course, the guy has his priorities, keeps the camera going.
This lady.
Oh, and I love it because he's telling passersby, somebody call the cops on this lady, meaning the business owner, the woman who they assaulted. Unreal.
Amy.
Unreal. You go to work, you're just trying to make a cookie store. You want people, or whatever, is it muffins, cookies, who knows? It's a bakery. And all you need is two right-wing assholes. Just one would do the trick. One would fuck it up enough. And then you got two. What do you do with two? Assholes. This is what they do. They never bring anything to the table. I've been saying this, please, this is another thing that I really want somebody to prove me wrong. Because I've been saying for years, Republicans have never done a goddamn single thing for the working people of this country. Prove me wrong. And nobody's proven me wrong. Same thing. I want to know where. Show me where a right winger has added value to a situation. Added something good. And I guess we all have to define what is good. Well, from where I'm sitting, I don't know. Good. We know it when we see it. Because if you're like Steve Bannon, you think good when you say, well, what's good? He's definitely got a different definition of good. He thinks it's good to lie, overthrow a legally elected government, and steal from his supporters, from people stupid enough to support you. No wonder he steals from them. Guys, we know. He hates them. I don't like them either. But I'm not trying to steal from them. I'm trying to ensure that they don't have to needlessly die without health care, or maybe they could live with living wages, retirement security, a fucking day off once in a while. Maybe family leave like the rest of Earth. That's all. Well, here, let's continue, because the guy's, instead of doing something, he doesn't care that his, whatever that person is to him, is assaulting a woman who's two grown-ass women having a fist fight. Nothing to see, I guess. Somebody called the cops, he says, on her. No, they're the ones that walked in there with their filthy, assaultive COVID breath. Then they pushed the woman. They harassed her. Violation of code 1532. You see how tediously boring they are? Did you realize you're in violation of code 15432? Why don't you go get a fucking life? You see, Republicans never add anything decent. They're not out there doing something for humanity. For real. You know, does this help humanity? Go help somebody. There's actual shit that has to get done. There's things that you can actually do. Right? Go save the whales. Right? Go free Mumia. Save the whales. Do something. Climate change, God damn it! There's a lot to do. Oh, I'm sure you think that's a hoax. This is why Republicans are the domestic enemies the founders warned us about. Absolutely, they are, because they have this country. What do you do when you're trying to overthrow a country? You go in there. You're not just storming the beaches. You go in there with all kinds of psyops to twist the people. What do you think that whole Tokyo Rose, right? Don't even bother. What was the other one? Axis Sally would broadcast to the troops, to the Americans. Oh, you cannot beat this. The German army. They're too powerful. Don't even try. This isn't your fight. Right? This is what the Axis Sally would broadcast. But this is what the Republicans, that's Steve Bannon. He's Axis fucking Sally. But they're working from within. Tokyo Rose, that's Steve Bannon, that's goddamn Tucker Carlson. They're all a bunch of these are the domestic enemy. Can somebody prove me wrong? We have to stop taking them at face value, taking them at their word. Everything that they're about is bullshit. They have these idiots out there, twisted, harassing, assaulting other Americans. Now the Republicans, the average Joe morons, think that violence is acceptable. Over 70%, is it? Or maybe it's even more than that. Now, let me see. Republicans who say violence is necessary. Let's see. 1 in 3 Republicans. I knew I saw that. Say violence may be necessary to save the United States. F you. I hate Republicans. What do you mean save? We're trying to save this country from you. This is why Republicans don't give a shit about democracy, election, who has a mandate, what the people want. They don't care. The people don't want them. The people don't want 17-year-olds running around armed with AK-47s. That's for fucking sure. But Republicans will make sure we have more of that. And guess what? We know what's going on in the Supreme Court. They're going to strike down the laws, the concealed carry laws we have here in New York. Because that's what Republicans do. They never add decency to a situation. They think that this is adding more guns. We don't want to live like that here in New York. So fuck off. But what about just states' rights? They want this country at each other's throats. And if we don't want that, if we try to work within the mechanisms of democracy to ensure that we have a more perfect union, that we address the problems that assault democracy, the Republicans, they will work to not just undermine, but undo our work. That's what the Voting Rights Act was. What did the fucking Republicans do? A goddamn Roberts, who was put on the Supreme Court by another illegitimate, less vote-getting Republican, George Bush Jr. Wait, this fucking hair in my eyes. Now I'm cursing, and I'm not even apologizing. I don't know. I have to stop the cursing. Whatever. That's like, what are you going to do? Unreal. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, boy. Here we go. Look at that. Nice. You want to get a cookie? What else they got there? Masks and vaxxed, please. Oh, that's why they targeted them. No mask holes. Masks and vaxxed, please, with a heart. Because we care about something. I can't make that word out. How can you resist fresh baked cookies? Says the sign. Can you believe this shit? Of course, that lady just walked in and out. You see that lady in the other store?
You don't get to fucking assault people and run a business.
Assault people? Yeah, bitch. You don't get to assault people and run a business? Oh, I thought he was talking about himself for a second. Well, this is Republicans. Like I said, they don't need a wall. They need a freaking mirror. They do. Look at yourself. You're assaulted. Oh, but it gets better. This actually has a happy ending. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes these right-wingers get what's coming to them. Never often enough. But the cops ended up arresting them.
Yeah, we'll be
Let's
calling
watch.
the cops on you, don't worry.
Oh, don't worry. The guy stole her bag.
Fuck off.
Too.
You don't get to keep your weapon after you assault someone with it.
Oh, really? Tell that to Kyle Rittenhouse, who murdered 2 people. Okay, here are the cops. They're watching the video. These people are so delusional that they called the cops. These idiots called the cops. What are the names? Let's see. We don't want to see that guy's face. Cookie store in Eugene, Oregon was assaulted by a anti-mask couple. What's their name? Ricky Collin and Amy Hall. Anti-maskers identified by the News and Observer as Ricky Collin, 34, and Amy Hall, 45, called the police, hoping to have the store owner arrested. Isn't that great? But when the police showed up, wah, 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 they saw the video.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, and I know Officer Rafty already interviewed you guys. Would you mind if I talk to you separately? Like, you talk, well, you hang out with him while you chat with you, and then I'll chat with you?
Sure.
Okay, let's go to the front of my car. What's your name again? Ricky.
You see how delusional they are? They think they're in the right. They can't believe that they're wrong. So he gets arrested. Let's see. She's getting arrested. Watch. Let's see. Come on, play.
Coming at us, trying to remove us.
Yeah, just hang on. Yeah, you can film. I just wanted to get the rest of your story.
So I don't know why they're arresting her exactly when she was the one that was attacked.
Oh, it's sort of like Kyle Rittenhouse. All the antics. I was so afraid for me. Me. I was so afraid. I drove 4 hours to be there so I can show everybody my cool gun that me, 17-year-old, isn't legally supposed to have, but this is America, you know. And I'm a white boy, so who talks nice. I say Mr. and please. That's all it takes for Republicans. They're very easily manipulated, I guess. That's really what it comes down to. They're not that swift. They're easy to dupe. And clearly, I mean, there are suckers born every minute. Trump Banzees are living proof. That's for sure.
Coffee and you didn't really get a chance to tell her you wanted.
Look at these cops. I go. So, because of all of the Republicans, maybe somebody's out there that really needs help. Really, and not that the woman doesn't need help. That's for sure. The woman who was assaulted by these mask holes. But this is, they're not adding to civilization. These Republicans, they're takers on every level. They sap us. They sap our souls. They sap this country of its decency, its dignity, its democracy, and its humanity.
We raised constitutional and statutory grounds for our defense to be there.
Bullshit.
For Supreme Court presidents. And
listen to this shit. Oh my God, they're so full of themselves.
Us trying to remove us.
Yeah, just hang on. You can film. I just wanted to get the rest of your story.
So I don't know why they're arresting her exactly when she was the one that was attacked.
After you attacked
So
her
you guys
first,
went in there
but
to get coffee and you didn't really get a chance to tell her you wanted coffee.
Right. We raised constitutional and statutory grounds for our defense to be there.
For us to get a cookie, we raised constitutionally. What did he say? We raised constitutionally and statutory what?
Grounds for our defense to be there.
For us to be there in the cookie store. You're not there to buy a cookie, bitch. You were there to cause trouble, and you got what you came for. You dumb asshole. Somebody, I wish I could get the footage of their appearance before the judge. I would love to see what went down. How they're the spewing of statute 143215992. Who do these people think they are? Stupid.
Presidents, and she brought out the bat and started pushing and shoving Amy in the stomach with it. And
after you pushed her, okay,
herself, and she started trying to swing the bat, so I stepped in and grabbed the bat from her.
Okay, did you ever?
I know this isn't the outcome that you guys wanted, for sure.
This isn't the outcome you guys wanted.
well, this is definitely an unlawful outcome, which is
Okay.
furthering your unlawful
Sure.
racketeering activity. But, you know, you guys could just keep doing what you want.
Oh, yes. It's now the cops are in on it. The cops are racketeering. That's what he said. Furthering your racketeering activity. Oh, what's the racket here? Well, I know a racket going on.
You're also under
It's
arrest, okay?
the
So,
Republican
I don't want
racket.
this
She
to
said,
I mean, Trump is fundraising his ass off. You suckers. He ain't letting go of you suckers. That parasite is going to suck you dry. And then, they'll suck whatever they can.
So here's where we're at. Ricky, you're also under arrest, okay? So I don't want this
she
to
said it
fall.
was
Yay!
discretionary.
Okay, I don't want
Wait,
this
wait,
to be
wait.
broken.
She
What am I
said
under
it was
arrest for?
discretionary
I didn't-
for whites.
I stepped in when 2 other people were assaulting each other. How is that assault on
Oh, I love it. I know this isn't the outcome you want, but you are also getting arrested. I love the sound of that. I love the sound of an asshole getting arrested in the morning, afternoon, or evening, anytime. I love that sound. Oh, God. We have so much work to do. Where is it? There's a few things. Oh, yeah, I was reading that. The Forgotten History of Republican Book Banning. Let's see. I think I did read that. Oh, yeah, I did. Oh, here. So many other things. Well, let's talk about this. Oh my God, there's so many other fucking things, too. I was going to say. Let me see. Well, death threats. We see that so Republicans are getting death threats for voting for the infrastructure package. And here, let me show you something that Matt Getz said on right-wing propaganda.
I can feel your blood pressure rising, Grant, and I'm right there with you. We had the Democrats on the ropes. We had the ability to make Joe Biden a lame duck president, to stop his agenda. The question for Leader McCarthy and the rest of our conference really is whether or not we will allow people to be designated as Republican leaders on major committees and subcommittees while they fight for the Joe Biden agenda.
The Joe Biden agenda. Infrastructure. We haven't had an infrastructure infusion or anything in over 50 years since the goddamn infrastructure was built, and it's crumbling. It's a disgrace. If this doesn't show you that Republicans are not a functioning political party, I don't know what does. And enough, Nancy. They're not trying to govern. They're trying to get power. That's exactly what this asshole just said. Matt Getz. That's what he just said. Not this asshole here. Oh, wait,
My
wrong
plan
one.
is to
Wrong one.
get out of that.
Wrong one.
I can feel your blood pressure rising, Grant.
Because people voted for infrastructure for the communities, which is the infrastructure bill and in the provisions in the Build Back Better plan. All of them have massively wild approval ratings, over 70%. And some of these provisions even higher, which is, it makes you wonder why we haven't joined the rest of the world, let's say, with health care or days off. You know, we're the only country that doesn't have family leave. So, oh my God. But with Matt Gaetz saying, he just gave away the game, but not that anybody will listen. Well, we will. But the corporate media will hear them outright saying that they have no interest in governing. This is what he just said. Their interest is like Obama. Let's make Obama a one-term president. Not that the American people are suffering. We're hemorrhaging 750,000 jobs a month. We have work to do. We have a job to make a more perfect union, to promote the general welfare. No, Republicans' job, they consider their job is as making more powerful Republicans. That's it. And what are they going to do with their power? They will make the rich richer and destroy democracy once and for all. That's it. And the fucking Republican idiots, the morons, the average Joe idiots, I'm sick of them. They vote for their own demise constantly. I'm tired. I'm tired of it. And I'm tired of my blue state dollars propping them up without they even mustering the manners for a simple thank you. Instead, I got to hear them attacking New York. Oh, we don't want to be like New York. Well, honey, we don't want to be like you. So take your filthy, stupid, cowardly, gun-clinging mentality out of here. Because we don't need it. We don't want it. Nobody wants to go to where you are, right? This is what always baffles me. Republicans. No one wants to go to Tennessee, let's say. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe they do. Unless you know somebody there. You want to visit. But do you want to make the whole country like Tennessee? I goddamn hope not. Because then I'm out of here for good. Not that that's a threat to. If right wingers wanted me out of here, do it. Give me a GoFundMe page. Get me the hell out of here. I'll do it. But that's what Matt Gaetz is saying right here. We had Joe Biden on the ropes. Not that the infrastructure was crumbling. Let's see, USA Infra. Let's see. Hold on, I'm typing. You see, that's why we need a patron. Patreon.com/Daredevil, whatever. Let's see. America in crisis. This was in 2018. America relies on a vast network of infrastructure. Airports, roads, bridges, freight rail, ports, and electric grid to keep the economy humming, but many of the systems in place were built decades ago. And economists say delays and rising maintenance and safety costs are now inhibiting our nation's economic performance. This is in 2018. Trump. It's an issue that President Trump has set his sights on. This is 2018 from CNBC, written by Scott Cohen. An issue the President Donald J. Effin Trump, to you, has set his sights on with a $1.5 trillion infrastructure plan. Oh, he believes infrastructure modernization will have a multiplier effect. What he believes? Really? He believes complete and utter bullshit. Let's not go to him for let's check in with the guy who believes that I don't know. He's a serial bankrupt, yet the most successful businessman on earth? Like nobody's ever seen? Yeah, let's go to that guy. he believes. Global consulting firm McKinsey estimates that increasing U.S. infrastructure spending by 1% of the GDP would add 1.5 million jobs. Where are these Republicans today touting and cheering the passage of the fact that Infrastructure Week actually came to fruition, finally? Today, every American family is losing about $3,400 a year in disposable income due to poor infrastructure, said Greg D. Lorenzo, the past president of the American Society of Civil Engineers. He is talking about auto repairs, gas for the time you spend stuck in traffic, bottled water during an outage, and the list goes on. Infrastructure is important to business, too, which is why it is among the most important categories in CNBC's exclusive America's Top States for Business. We use government data to evaluate each state's roads, bridges, ports, airports, rails. While some states are finding ways around this crisis, others can only shrug each time the White House says Infrastructure Week is coming and going. Well, here are the 10 worst trouble spots. Number 10, Mississippi. What a shock. If ever there were a state that could benefit from better infrastructure, it is the Magnolia State. The state has one of the most important stretches of its namesake river, as well as a key Gulf Coast port. Come on, words, get out. Its roads and rails provide links to the rest of the South, but as it does in so many measures of competitiveness, Mississippi falls short. Okay. It has a 172 out of 400 point grade, giving it a D+. It has 11.8% deficient bridges. And it is its average commute to work is 24 minutes. Whatever, who cares? It has 51% of its roads are in poor or mediocre condition. Well, that sucks. Massachusetts is on the list for having bad infrastructure. New Jersey, Maryland, and boom, West Virginia is got a top grade of D. It has 47% poor roads. 47% of its roads are in poor or mediocre conditions. All right. Well, what do you expect? You don't put money into anything? It's investing. When all you do is give money to people who have enough money that they'll never spend it in 50,000 lifetimes, and all they can do is give money to their undeserving heirs who act like they own the goddamn place, act like they earned it. Please. Oh, God. That's why we need an estate tax, for God's sakes. Having to endure these... the likes of Donald Trump Jr. thinking he's some kind of, I don't know, what does he think? He thinks he's smart. He does. He thinks he's earned that. Wait, I'm trying to find you guys. There we are. Okay, found you. Oh, help me. Look at that. Richard W. says, Obama education bill allowed us to build a state-of-the-art school, high school, and the Republicans won't fund it. Well, what else is new? Education is terrible. Yep. Well, that's part of how they will destroy this country. They know that the stupider we are, the more voters they have. So, and it's like, it really is a full court press in every direction. That's why they attack schools. They attack government. government schools. The worst thing that Democrats do, and this is what the Democrats we need to get rid of legally and peacefully from the party, they jump on the bandwagon. Government is the problem. Yeah, the era of big government is over. They added to this. What do you think happens when your entire media apparatus is dedicated to attacking government, attacking the only entity strong enough and powerful enough to challenge the power of concentrated wealth? This is the tension between freedom and servitude, which Republicans have completely diluted in the minds of their very stupid followers. Because they're all about patriotism. They have no clue. If they were patriotic, we know they wouldn't be voting Republican. So, this is why Republicans, they turn the American people against everything, the systems. They turn the American people against government itself. And, of course, the conservative Democrats jumped right on in. Oh, this is working. Let me jump on this bandwagon and see maybe I could pick up some Republican voters. This is what the damn corporate Dems think they're doing. But who's defending democracy? That's why we're here. Because wait a minute. What do you mean? When we talk about progressive policies, these policies are absolutely vital to have a functioning democracy. That's what we're doing. That's why we fund government schools. That's why the people need a similar story. We need we need to have the same history and understand history. That's why they're a bunch of cowards. This is why they're up our asses talking about critical race theory, or because they know one of the things we need to do to have a functioning democracy is to have that conversation about race. And they don't want that. They can't have that. Black Lives Matter, the protests were terrifying to them enough because it was so diverse. It wasn't just people with darker pigment. That's why the Republicans had to vilify it and turn Kyle Rittenhouse into a hero. That little pissant, pudgy little whiny sociopath. They're such suckers, Republicans. They really are. Anything. They fall for it all. Just give them, everything is a front. Kyle Rittenhouse's display, his performance. It's so obvious. Everything about them. Everything is a show. It's like Trump. Trump, same thing. And he knew it too. Wait, where is that video of Trump? Right. I wonder if I have it. Here we go. Might not have it.
Remember, I used to say I can be more presidential. Look. I've always said I can be more presidential than any president in history, except for Honest Abe.
Oof. Here's another one.
No more oil, no more natural.
Oh wait, that's the same clip. I think it's longer.
I said I can be more presidential than any president in history. Of course, if the fake news did a poll, they're called suppression polls.
Shut your fucking hole.
all the time, the fake news that say, I can be
Oh,
more
well, whatever. I could be more president. I mean, there you go. That's an example. They're just going through the motions. They're pretending because they don't have it. It's kids pretending, playing dress up. They don't have the fundamental maturity to function in a democracy. That's why everything devolves into stupidity. Oh, God. We're in big trouble. And all you got to do, just add a right-winger to any situation and watch it devolve and deteriorate. I'm looking at the time, and there's a helicopter outside. There's been helicopters outside. I don't know why. Who are they looking for? And I do have a cut on my lip. I had a little cold sore. Okay, everybody? And it's healed. Relax. What are you gonna do? Alas, I'm only human. Here. You probably saw this. It was a couple of days ago. They fired this woman. She's a school teacher. And a QAnon nut job.
They're now saying that they don't want to give...
So a kid recorded this woman who used to be a teacher, Anna Kappa Middle School. So this kid started recording the lunacy coming out of this woman's mouth, talking to middle schoolers, okay? Kids. And there you go. Republicans they're incapable of functioning in a free democratic society because they're crackpots. You don't see this on the left, do you? I know that the Republicans they constantly want to create, this false, both sides, this false dichotomy. Oh, there are loonies on the left. There's a loony. You got the Marjorie Taylor Greens on the right, and then you got the AOCs. This is what we're supposed to believe, that AOC is loony because she doesn't think that people shouldn't, needlessly die without health care. I mean, how crazy can you get? On the one hand, you have somebody who thinks Jewish space lasers have something to do with climate change. And on the other hand, you have somebody that wants the United States to join the rest of the world in ensuring that its citizens don't needlessly die without health care. I don't know. It's loony. Which is loonier? You got one, then you got another. Crazy. Both sides. You don't see this shit. You don't see what? Liberal teachers? What would liberal teachers be telling kids that would be inappropriate? You know that Republicans are somewhere right now crying and whining about something like that happening, making it up if need be. But for all of the Republicans, for all their wishful thinking, because that's what it is, they project their bullshit on us. They want us to think that, everybody's crazy. It's just everyone. No, honey, there is a lot of crazy. You got a lot of crazy on your plate, Republicans. Why is that? I know, because there's something wrong with your goddamn ideology. It attracts nut jobs because it's the ideology of sickness, selfishness, fear. I mean, and plus, it's like we have actual problems. This is why it's worse. It's worse than we think. It's not just that we have to deal with them. It's like they are preventing us from dealing with the actual problems we have to deal with. And if they get their way, they will prevent us from dealing with it permanently. That's what they're working on. They don't like democracy. They never did. So they have to murder it. You get it? And so here's a teacher who thought that she could take her, she's a history teacher too. She was going to take the QAnon cult to the kids.
Like if you have a baby in the hospital, they don't want to give it back to you if you're not vaccinated. This is a complete power control grab. And people need to wake up and see that the government has way too much power right now.
You do not need to talk about the election as well.
Well, I'm telling them, hold on, I'm telling them, well, there were audits. This is information. There were audits, and the audits came back and saw that it was fraudulent. But so how is that an opinion?
Holy Christ! Where do I live? I every day, I just can't believe it. That this woman's name isn't being released. Lucky for her. Ventura, maybe she can get another job. Who knows? Well, she'll always have a job at some filthy right-wing charter school. Go there. Go to a charter school where all that matters is making money. Not educating people, not the health and wealth and safety and well-being of the children. Just selfishness of some guy, probably. Who cares? They figured out that they could grift. They can get some buku taxpayer bucks by opening up a school for some stupid dumbasses who join based on what? On some conservative some bullshit. A Ventura County middle school history teacher was removed from her position after she was captured on video delivering a conspiracy-laden tirade against vaccinations and the family of President Joe Biden during class. Where do we live?
Like they proved that it's not fraud.
No, but have you read into the audits?
Yeah.
Have you read into the audits? She says to the middle schoolers.
The audits proved. So nothing's going to get overturned, but the audits did prove.
These days, a lot of
No, they didn't. You kook. It's never going to stop. It's not going to stop until something terrible happens. That's how fascism ends. If we don't stamp this out right now, it's going to get worse. If they win in the midterms in any way, shape, or form, it's done. And I don't know. We're going to have a conversation then. What we're going to do.
The difference between opinions and facts.
Do you think that it's flawed? The election was just flawed. Is that a fact?
I'm not saying the entire election, but the states where the audits were done, yes.
Not saying the entire election. So kids are saying, are you saying the election's fraudulent? Not the entire election. Only the places where Twitler didn't win. Other places where Republicans won and voted for Joe Biden too. Those, I don't know. Well, the audits. Middle school, you know how old you are in middle school? 11. 11 to age 11 to age 13. That's the age range of a middle schooler. And this crackpot. Talk about indoctrination. Yeah, this is what Republicans, they say government schools. What are we teaching in government schools? To support democracy, to cultivate democracy, how tenuous democracies are, how we're a multiracial democracy, and how that's an actual, that's why we're exceptional. our nation of immigrants, our diversity, built on happiness, not on a bloodline. Jesus Christ. Everything that is actually great, Republicans abhor. You get it? Everything that actually is great, they hate. Anyway. That's the music, but let's finish this.
There is facts, there are statistics, and I can pull up those facts and statistics right
11
now.
to 13 years old,
These are
ladies
facts.
and gentlemen. Oh, wait, what? I thought I caught the part. Oh, maybe I missed it. Because there was a part, I guess you don't really need to hear her say it, where she says that Hunter Biden had sex with his niece. The fuck is it? This is what you say to 11-year-olds? That there was child porn on Hunter Biden's laptop? This is what she's saying, which is bullshit. They're so fucked up, these people. They really are fucked up. It was an indoctrination. Yeah, when she started going on about the vaccines, it sunk deep to this person's son, because she was starting to ask, well, how can my parents not know that these vaccines did this? Why would any parents lie to me to get a vaccine? This is what the kids were saying. It's like living with a deep QAnoner all of a sudden. This is what, so this person is saying her son has now been indoctrinated by QAnon thanks to this teacher he's come home and said that Joe Biden isn't really president, that the government has absolutely too much power and is lying, and the election was rigged. Wow. Like I said, just add a right-winger. You want everything to go to shit? Add a right-winger. Right-wingers never bring anything to the table. They don't have it. In order to bring it to the table, you gotta have it, right? So, you want to bring decency to the table? You gotta have it. Dignity, humanity. You gotta have it. They don't have it, guys. They don't have the maturity. They don't have the decency. They're selfish. They're sick. That's why they fall for Kyle Rittenhouse's antics. Oh my God. Because they see themselves. All right. We have a lot of work to do. And we'll do it. We'll keep on fighting. I have a lot of work to do. Just looking at all the... I mean, we had so much to talk about. So become a patron at patreon.com/TaraDevil. And if you can, join us on Discord. There's a link in the description. And we have we have so much work to do. So we'll see what happens Saturday. If we can get Robyn on the phone, we'll see. Hopefully she's feeling better. Could tell us about what happened. Her experience so far. Ray. All right, listen up, guys. We do have more to talk about, but I gotta go get unconscious. Look at my hair. I have so much. I have work to do, and I have to fix my roots. Gotta dye my roots. All right, my friends, listen. I can't believe it's Thursday. I was going to have a show yesterday. I forgot to tell you, I should say. I didn't feel well yesterday. I was really going to do the show yesterday, and then I had a lot of stomach problems. We'll leave it at that. All right, my friends. Listen up. Become a patron at patreon.com/Tara Devlin. Give the show a good review on iTunes. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. So work it. You're worth it. And Richard W. says, we need a show on Saturday. Yes, and you will have a show. You will have a show. You put a video on Discord, Jim? Did I miss this? It wouldn't be the first time. I'll have to look. Let me see. Discord. I don't see. Well, I'll have to find it. All right. Guys. We will win. We're on the right side of history. We're on the right side of decency, dignity, and democracy. You know it. Thank you so much for hanging out. My name is Tara Devlin. We stick together. We win. I'll see you Saturday. Saturday nights. What time? Around 7:30 Eastern. Okay? I'll see you.